Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
The economic liberalization in 1991 unleashed entrepreneurial energy, with the industrial and services sector scaling new heights. But the agricultural sector, which is the source of livelihood for two-thirds of the country's population, has remained stagnant owing to policy apathy, inadequate investment in agri-infrastructure, obsolete farm practices, and poor yields. Had the successive government fixed this sector, then its share in the GDP would have been larger. As per estimates by the Central Statistics Office, the share of agriculture and allied sectors, including agriculture, livestock, forestry, and fishery, was 15.35% of the gross value added during 2015-2016 at 2011-2012 prices. But the key drivers of growth are high-value segments such as dairy, horticulture, and inland fisheries. These three segments, which account for 60% of India's agricultural GDP, provides farmers with round-the-year income. Within these three segments, the dairy sector has emerged as a vital source of subsidiary income to small and marginal farmers. The dairy sector, by substantially boosting farmers' income, has not only significantly contributed to India's agricultural GDP, but has also made India the world's largest milk producer. India contributes 18.5% of the global production by producing 146 million tons of milk. And all the credit for putting India on the world map goes to one man, Dr. Verghese Kurian. Also known as the Milkman of India, Dr. Kurian launched the Operation Flood program in 1970. Through this program, he formed a national milk grid, linking milk producers throughout India with consumers. And that indeed was a game changer. The White Revolution has indeed transformed the lives of farmers in India forever. The stated objective of Operation Flood was to reduce seasonal and regional price variations while ensuring that the producer gets fair market prices in a transparent manner on a regular basis. From the outset, Operation Flood was conceived and implemented as much more than a dairy program. Rather, dairying was seen as an instrument of development, generating employment and regular income for millions of rural people.
As far as the socio-economic improvement in the farmers is concerned, you see the entire cooperative model which Amul started in 1947 is only to bring about the economic independence of to the farmers, because the farmers were getting exploited and they were not getting paid for their produce, particularly milk, and they were getting exploited by the middlemen. So we went into starting of the cooperative movement and cutting down all the middlemen from the system and directly getting milk from the farmers.
Well, Dr. Kurian's vision has changed the fortunes of India's dairy sector. While at one level it has boosted the farmers' income, on the flip side there remained huge challenges in terms of milk storage and its transportation. Lack of cold chain infrastructure resulted in milk getting spoiled and farmers incurring huge losses.
India is the largest milk producing country in the world. At the same time, we also have a number of problems, particularly related to logistics, infrastructure, and transportation. And because of that, we are not able to get the milk what we produce at the farm gate level into the dairy plant, and thereby we are incurring the losses almost as on today I would say something like 4 to 6%. It's like any other agricultural commodity. By the time it reaches to the dairy plant, there has been a tremendous loss of milk in terms of sewerage and curd and other things.
To find a way out, Amul enlisted the services of Danfoss India. This renowned global giant promptly offered cooling solutions to Amul's Anand facility, and the result is for all to see.
When we started working with Amul, our journey started in 1992 when the first BMCs were introduced. And a BMC is a bulk milk cooler, where in collection centers, when milk was being collected from farmers, our intention was to see how to keep it, bring down the temperature from 15 degrees to 4 degrees. That was the first intention, and keeping it at that 4 degrees right up the time when the milk can be collected from the collection center right up to the dairy. So our intention was to provide a reliable condensing unit that not only helped them to bring the temperature down, but would also be efficient. So that is how we started our journey with Amul. Today we have made a lot of progress, because in Amul, in the dairies, we offer a number of components which provides automation, energy efficiency. We also offer the variable frequency drives at these dairies. We need to understand that cold chain is about adding a bit of cost to the product, and we cannot prevent that from happening. But how can we make it more energy efficient is what we look at.
Well, apart from providing energy efficient solutions, Danfoss equipment also helps reduce loss of milk at the farm gate levels with its faster cooling systems, and which in turn has increased the farmer's income.
When we didn't have any bulk chilling units at the society level, we were getting milk in unchilled condition in cans at a dairy plant. So by the time milk reaches at this, almost I would say something like 3 to 5% the loss. We get about 1,000 liters of milk, and 5% milk would get lost, or it gets curdled or spoiled by the time it reaches to the dairy plant. So there, when we went for installation of the bulk chilling units with the Danfoss equipments and the compressors, the spoilage has almost come down to zero. I would say that there is absolutely no spoilage, because we are able to chill the milk in time. And the other thing, as far as the direct benefit to the farmers is concerned, is number one, it reduces the milk temperature within an hour or two, okay, from by the time you pour into the tank. So there is a tremendous amount of the saving one. And number two, the Danfoss compressor needs only 3.5 kilo of the refrigerant, as compared to the conventional ones which we are also having. That's about 7 kilo. A direct saving of something like 1,400 or 1,500 rupees per life cycle. So that is a saving to the farmer, number one. And number two is that since the chilling is so efficient, and we are paying milk based on the quality of microbiology, bacteriological quality, and we are paying about something like 5 paisa per liter of milk. So it controls the bacterial growth. The farmer gets 5 paisa additional for his every liter of milk what he gives to the society. The other benefit is that it requires very less maintenance, and it does not what you call the operational cost is less. I would say something like we just did a calculation what is the Danfoss compressors and the normal compressor. It's something like 17% is the maintenance cost which goes down at the society level. And when I say 17% maintenance cost, in the sense that is a huge savings as far as the farmer is concerned.
All in all, the condensing units equipped with Danfoss components, variable frequency drives, Optima Slim Pack with microchannel heat exchanger and controls has led to significant savings for Amul, besides reducing spoilage losses to almost zero levels. Clearly, the white revolution has put India's dairy sector on the global map. On that positive note, it's time for a short break. When we come back, we will look at India's horticulture sector. Welcome back. Fruits and vegetables account for nearly 90% of the total horticulture production in the country. Horticulture as a sector has performed remarkably well, with production of fruits and vegetables outstripping that of food grains for the third consecutive year. In 2014-2015, the country's horticulture production stood at 281 million tons compared to 251 million tons of food grains production. India is now the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables in the world and is the leader in several horticultural crops, namely mango, banana, papaya, cashew nut, areca nut, potato, and okra. Today, the horticulture sector accounts for 30% of the total agricultural output. While this sector is doing the country proud, there are major concerns in terms of post-harvest loss. The cumulative loss is very high and ranges between 5 and 20% of the production. The annual value of harvest and post-harvest losses of major agricultural products at the national level is estimated to the tune of 92,651 crore rupees. The primary reason for these post-harvest losses is inadequate infrastructure, absence of modern food supply chain, and fragmentation of farms. The issue of post-harvest losses can be dealt with to a certain extent by replicating Amul's cooperative model. Take the case of Sahyadri Farmers Producer Company, founded by Vilas Shinde. The idea of Shinde was to ensure a fair return to the farmers and the consumers get quality grapes. Located 170 kilometers northeast of Mumbai, 600 meters above sea level, is Nashik, where large areas of vineyards surround the city. Sahyadri Farms have an affiliation with 1,000 grape growers in this region. By providing end-to-end solutions to farmers, it has changed the entire landscape. Right from guiding the farmers how to cultivate crops, which seeds to use, how to pack their produce, and which countries in Europe they can export to, Sahyadri Farmers is guiding them.
Basically, we started our career with grape farming. 20 years back when I passed out from Agriculture University as an agriculture graduate, and when I started agriculture as a profession. What we learned in the last 10 years, that individual farming is not beneficial for farmers. There are a lot of challenges which individual farmers cannot handle that challenges. So they need to come together and make a system which will be helpful to the farmers at different levels, whether to handle on back-end side challenges or front-end challenges. So that's why we started this Sahyadri Farmers Producer Company, which is based on a cooperative model, you can say mainly Amul model.
In the beginning, even Sahyadri farmers were facing post-harvest losses due to improper cooling, as it took 8 to 10 hours for cooling. These long cooling hours led to weight losses, while at the same time deteriorated the quality of the produce. To overcome this issue, it invested in Danfoss equipments which reduced not only the cooling time but also reduced energy consumption.
The Sahyadri is an extremely good example of what has happened in Amul or in the milk industry where cooperative farmers came together. It's a great example of how you can do it in the fruits and vegetables. So when we started working with Sahyadri Farms, we found out that the farmers decided to come together and set up their own cold storage. Our intention here was to make sure that, remember that every time a product hits a cold storage, there is a cost that is getting added to it. So our intention was to make it the lowest cost, because you spend some amount of money onto it. How can we reduce it? By ensuring proper pre-cooling is properly done, ensuring that variable frequency drives are set into it. By bringing down the refrigeration costs that are there or the cold chain costs that are there, we have helped farmers benefit from the amount of money that they can make. So when they add on to it, any amount of savings that we can bring in the energy costs is a savings for the farmer.
Undoubtedly, Danfoss equipment has brought down energy costs for the Sahyadri farms, as cooling now takes around 3 to 4 hours compared to 8 to 10 hours before. These equipments have also helped farmers to get better quality of grapes, transforming to better sales as the produce is sold at higher rates. Farmers now fetch 20% higher prices for their produce.
We are associated with Danfoss from last 3 years. Normally we said that 30% is wastage in fruit and vegetables. But in our system, you will find that it is not more than 5%. So almost 25% saving we are doing because of these systems.
Certainly, these cooling solutions have made Sahyadri Farms a successful model. This cooperative movement, which started in 2004 with 10 farmers exporting 10 containers of grapes, has now grown into 1,000 farmers exporting over 625 containers every year. It is clear that the cooperative model of Sahyadri Farms is the way forward for the horticulture sector. it needs to be replicated across the country. On that note, it's time for another commercial break. When we come back, we will look at India's cold storage industry. Stay tuned. Welcome back. India is the world's largest producer of milk and the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables. But the ugly truth is the food loss before it reaches the consumer. According to the UN report, India is ahead of China in terms of food loss. Not a pretty picture. According to estimates by the Food and Agriculture Organization, about 40% of India's fresh fruit and vegetables worth $8.3 billion perish before reaching the consumers. One of the prime reasons for this situation is the lack of effective cold chain, including cold storage. It is estimated that India currently has 6,300 cold storage facilities unevenly spread across the country with an installed capacity of 30.11 million metric tons. In addition to this, when we look at the other parts of the cold chain, such as reefer trucks, pack houses, ripening chambers, etc., we have an even more dismal picture. Ironically, 65% of India's cold storage capacities are housed in Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal with inefficient technologies. It is useful to note that the return of investments of cold storage improves dramatically by reducing operational costs, especially on electricity, which is a substantial part. By improving the ROI and reducing food loss, the farmer benefits with higher returns and the consumer benefits with a lower cost. Clearly a win-win combination.
The cold chain industry is one of the industries that needs to be developed, and the reason is that there is a lot of wastage in the foods and vegetables, and though India is the largest producer of fruits and vegetables and also the largest producer of milk, what we have seen is 40% of that produce gets wasted. So our intent clearly when we do a cold chain infrastructure is to see how we can get efficient in ensuring that the products that are produced are efficiently reaching the consumer by retaining its freshness and its taste.
Clearly, inefficient cold storage system is causing losses both to the farmers and consumers. But the good news is that India is taking baby steps towards building the infrastructure for cold storage. Cold storages in particular form a key element of this infrastructure model and play an important role in ensuring reduced food loss by helping farmers store produce at optimum temperatures and conditions suited for the harvest. Take for instance the Sonipat-based Sabharwal Food Industries that serves as a one-stop shop for fresh frozen bread and bakery and processed food. With a strong infrastructure and dedicated workforce of 300 people, Sabharwal Food, located close to Delhi, is providing solid and cost-effective farm-to-consumer solutions. And for this, it has adopted an energy-efficient cold storage model using the latest technology and has built India's first energy-efficient cold storage model.
The new cold storage that we have now is a cold storage that is on par with the best cold stores in Western Europe. The key elements that makes our cold store better is, one, we have a docking system in our cold store. So we have 6 docks and all of them are sealed docks. The moment a truck comes in, the vehicle gets into the sealed docking system. Then it is in the process area, the product. In the process area, we have a temperature zone of 20 to 25 degrees centigrade. Then it travels into the anteroom, where we have a temperature zone of 0 to 5 degrees temperature. Then it travels into the chamber, where it's on a pallet. We are a completely 100% palletized cold store. Now you come in terms of the refrigeration plant. Our plant has the most efficient cooling coils. We are an aluminum coil. Behind that, we have a refrigeration plant which is backed up by Danfoss controls. And with that, we have a Danfoss system manager, which allows us access into every aspect of the refrigeration plant, right from the way our VFD drives are running, the way our liquid ammonia pumps are running, the way our valves are behaving, the way our defrost cycling is. Now, these are all little technical things, but when you put all these things together, it makes a substantial amount of contribution in the whole system.
Well, Apart from adopting a model cold storage, Sabharwal Food has also installed Danfoss equipments to bring energy efficiency to save on energy consumed by the cold storage.
Well, Danfoss has been a natural choice for us. We've been working with Danfoss for about 15 years. We were aware of a lot of good work that was happening at Danfoss, and when we had the opportunity of doing the new cold store, we had a technical tie-up with Danfoss which gave us access to the best products worldwide, to the latest equipment, which enhanced the safety of a project, which enhanced the efficiency of the project and things like that, and that is what got us going with Danfoss.
Well, looking at some of the interesting cases illustrated in this episode, it is clear as daylight that there are solutions for all kinds of problems facing the agriculture sector. So the need of the hour is to create awareness among millions of farmers in the country. It is here that the government, in partnership with the private sector, could unveil a campaign on the need to use energy-efficient equipment and install cold storage facilities to ensure that food loss is reduced to a minimal. This act could go a long way in fulfilling the government's food security program and doubling farmers' income.
Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.